2025 NFL Draft wrapped up yesterday, and the OSU Buckeyes doubled their amount of draft picks on the final day. They finished with a total of 14 draft picks from the national championship team, which is one short of the all-time record of 15. Will Howard and Jack Sawyer are both going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round after taking Dylan Gabriel the day before in the 3rd. The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Miami Heat 124-87 to take a commanding 3-0 series lead and are one win away from moving on to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Game 4 will be in Miami tomorrow night at 7:30. The Columbus Crew beat the San Jose Earthquakes 2-1 yesterday. They will next play Charlotte FC at home next Saturday at 7:30. The Guardians beat the Red Sox 5-4 yesterday and play again today at 1:40. And the Reds beat the Rockies 6-4 yesterday. You can finish a 3-game sweep today at 3:10.
From ONN, this is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle. I'm joined by Scotty Vegas, producer Cam Taylor at the controls. We're going to talk a lot about the NFL draft from the Bengals perspective, Browns perspective, Steelers perspective, my new favorite team. I'm kidding, Bengals. I'm too loyal to my team. But if I were to switch, it would be to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I can't do it. But Ohio State, how did Ohio State do? Well, they were one away from tying the record at 15. They ended up with 14. Seth McLaughlin, the best center in college football, did not get drafted. We're going to get into all that. We're going to talk a little bit of country club segment. We're going to do a little golf betting, some tennis betting. We have a parlay party. Scotty's going to do something new. He's going to give me a name in the second hour, and it's either going to be a real draft pick or a name Scotty made up, so I'm looking forward to that. And the Buckeyes got a transfer portal offensive lineman yesterday from West Virginia. All of that's coming at you. Scotty Vegas, how you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm good. Way to set the puppies there, as Bill Raftery would say. Big show, because here's the deal. There's a million different little subplots that we could talk about with this NFL draft, and we're going to get into it, and we want to hear from you guys as far as what's your thoughts on how your teams did. Bengals, Browns, Steelers. So you can hit us up in the YouTube chat. We'll be monitoring that throughout the show, and then we're going to be taking calls in hour number 2 as well. So we can't wait to hear from you about your perspective from the draft. Now, one thing I was thinking of, Dave, on the way in, this show is called On the Money, and so I'm thinking about money this morning, of course. But Shedeur Sanders, we talk about the fall that he took, ends up being pick number 144. The amazing thing, Dave, was last year when the first NFL draft odds came out as far as Shedeur Sanders, he was the favorite to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. That was last season coming in once they released that. And then we saw the numbers drop a little bit. His over-under draft number to begin when it opened up was over and under 3.5. It dropped on draft day all the way to 21.5. And then he took a monster drop, fell all the way to 144. And the interesting thing to me, money-wise, Dave, think about this. As a 5th-round pick, you're looking at a contract of about a 4-year, $4 million contract for Shedeur. We know he's got a ton of money, family money, all that good stuff, and made a lot of money at Colorado. But the crazy thing to me, Dave, is if he goes back to Colorado for one more year, he's probably making $4 million in that 1 year or whatever, somewhere in that neighborhood in NIL money in 1 year at Colorado. Or he now is going to be looking at a 4-year contract worth about $4 million in the NFL.
It's like Will Howard going to this. Another thing we're going to get into. I can't believe he lasted to the 6th round. Of course he went to the Steelers. Of course Jack Sawyer goes to the Steelers. Listen, those guys are good friends. I'm glad they're teammates. But, it's crazy, man. I think Shedeur in the 5th round, that's just an unbelievable bargain for the Browns. The problem is, what are they doing taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round? Now, they obviously didn't know at the time Shadeur's going to be there in the 5th round, or they wouldn't have taken Dylan Gabriel. But we were talking about this before the show with you and me and Cam. I didn't like the Dylan Gabriel pick late in the 3rd round, regardless of whether they got Shedeur later or not. I just thought that's pretty early. For example, Dane Brugler had Dylan Gabriel projected 146 overall in the 5th round. So he had him going 2 spots later than what Shedeur went. So you're getting Dylan Gabriel, 5'11" quarterback in the 3rd round, and then you get Shedeur. So I think Shedeur was a great value, but it almost gets canceled out by In my opinion, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Gabriel will be a good, at least an NFL backup quarterback can come in and start. Maybe. I don't think he will be. To me, that's like just throwing away a third-round pick. So Shedeur lasting to the 5th round, very surprising. Will Howard to the 6th round, I don't get that at all. But Steelers, I tell you what, that's a perfect fit for them to get him that late. They need a quarterback. Is he going to come right in as a rookie and be what they need? No. But he could be a nice bridge to next year if they get an Aaron Rodgers or if they trade for a Kirk Cousins. A lot to unpack there. The Dylan Gabriel pick was the one that I was just like, I thought the Browns were having. Some Browns fans were upset that they traded it out and didn't get Travis Hunter. I thought that was good to pick up those extra picks. I think Mason Graham's really good, despite the fact that we know where he went to college. We also know how awesome he is. I thought that was a good pick by the Browns. But Dylan Gabriel was just a strange one to me, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that one. I don't mind the Browns taking 2 shots at the quarterback position. And again, at Shedeur in round 5, there's no risk, right? The 5th round, if a 5th round is a bust, oh well, that happens all the time. If you go up and down the 5th round, it's generally going to be a round you don't expect much production from. I did want to go back to what you were talking about with Will Howard. And you and I had been talking about this over the last couple weeks, where we were hoping that Will Howard would find a good situation. And Dave, I don't think he could have found a better situation, because here's the deal. I know 6th round, that part is not great, but going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where it looks like they're probably going to bring in Aaron Rodgers for a 1-year deal. And so you're going to look at Will Howard with the opportunity, and Mason Rudolph is also there. So there's not a ton of competition for the future. And so it gives Will Howard an opportunity to go there, learn for a year under one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers. Go to a franchise that whatever you want to say as a Browns fan, Bengals fan, there's so much respect that you got to have for Tomlin and the Steelers and how that organization is run and how they do things. So Will Howard, I know it stinks that he went as low as he did in the 6th round, but the situation couldn't be much better as far as where he ended up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you said it perfectly. I know as a Bengal fan, I definitely don't like the Steelers, but I have the utmost respect for them. For stuff like this, for them, and I even joked about it on Twitter. This is before they took Will Howard. This was after they took Sawyer. I'm like, can the Steelers please stop taking Buckeyes that I love? No? Okay. Darn it. And then they take Will Howard as well. I mean, going back, I loved Ryan Shazier. They took him. Cam Hayward, one of my favorites of all time. He's still there. I mean, he's been just an absolute cornerstone of that awesome defense. I mean, I guess other than Watt, he's been their best defensive player. I guess Fitzpatrick's good too, but Hayward's been, and keep in mind, his last year at Ohio State was 2010. So he's entering his 16th year this coming year in the NFL.
And still a beast.
And he still is a beast. And a great guy. This is what I mean. They're not just, and Santonio Holmes, Super Bowl MVP, another Buckeye that I really liked. The Steelers do a great job taking Buckeyes. They also took Mike Vrabel back in the day in the 3rd round. And after 3 years, they gave up on him. Then he ended up doing pretty good with the Patriots. But, it's frustrating as a Bengal fan. And I think, let's talk about the Bengals for a second. The spin out of Cincinnati this morning and last night is, maybe they reached for some of these guys, but they're all high character guys. That's what every team says when they reach on somebody. Yeah, but he's a high character guy. I didn't like the Shamar Stewart pick in the 1st round. It is boom or bust. I love his physical traits. Scotty, guys who are not productive in college, you just think all of a sudden they're going to be productive when they go to the NFL? I mean, where's the logic there? I mean, this guy had a 1.5 sacks as a true freshman at A&M. All right, true freshman. All right, comes back as a sophomore, 1.5 sacks. Past year as a junior, money year, 1.5 sacks. I guess consistency, right? He's going to get you 1.5 sacks a year, and maybe he'll break out. Maybe he will be one of these guys that's a better pro player than a college player. I understand that can happen. I just don't like taking a guy at 17 who didn't have college production when they could have taken a Derek Harmon, who, of course, goes to who? The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. I'm watching the 1st round of the draft with you at Hollywood Casino, which I always love watching Dave Biddle reactions when things happen.
You're such a hater.
During, again, going back, we watched the week 1 of the Bengals game last season. Bengals-Patriots were on air.
Cost them a playoff spot.
We're on air as this game is going on, and the anger and the red face coming out of you. And then kind of similar to what I saw on Thursday night. I don't think you hated the pick, but definitely wasn't the number one pick that you were hoping that the Bengals make. Hey, one comment from YouTube before we take a quick break, and I think it's a really good one. It's from Nate, and he says, Quinn Ewers should have stayed another year in college, transferred to a different school. Now, Quinn Ewers didn't go until round 7.
Did you? Oh, he was almost. I felt bad for him. He looked like he was crying. Did you see when they showed him and his family?
And it's a crazy thing, Dave. Couple things, because if we remember back a few years ago, Quinn Ewers was that number one recruit, that can't miss guy. Had a good college career, went to the playoffs, all that good stuff. But yeah, a 7th round pick for him. And like I mentioned with Shedeur, if Shedeur comes back to Colorado, he's making millions of dollars next year as a college quarterback.
He could have. Some people have reported that he could come back. I think they're getting Travis Hunter and Shedeur mixed up because I looked it up. Shedeur was not a COVID guy and he never redshirted. He could not have come back. When people have reported this, that has been erroneously reported that he could have come back to Colorado. Now, if he could have, you're right, he would have made a lot more money. But he played 2 years at Jackson State, never redshirted. It doesn't matter that was a lower level. It doesn't matter if it's JUCO or D3. It counts as a year of eligibility. Then he played 2 years at Colorado, never redshirted. So he played 4 years, no COVID year. I've seen that widely reported, but he was out of eligibility.
But Nate makes a great point with Quinn Ewers. Yes. What would Quinn Ewers have made on the open NIL market coming back for another $4 million?
Carson Beck is making $4 million. He'll never make that in the NFL, ever.
And the chances, and again, Quinn being a 7th round pick, the chances of sticking on and making it as a 7th round quarterback pick, I mean, very unlikely. So, yeah, a lot of money off the table there for Quinn.
Quinn Ewers was one of those Buckeyes in that 2021 recruiting class. A lot of those guys got taken yesterday. We're going to get into the Ohio State side of this next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know how annoyed people get when they worry about their sump pump?
The sump pump grump.
Get Eco.
ECO. They try whacking it to see if it'll start.
A technique known as the sump pump thump, I believe.
Or they feel around to see if something inside is clogged.
That would be a sump pump clump.
Get Eco.
ECO. But the last thing they want is to be caught in a rainstorm or a snowmelt with a flooded basement because the stupid thing didn't work.
No one wants to be a sump pump chump, Aaron.
That's why we have the $89 sump pump inspection. We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
All that for just one small sump pump lump sum.
Absolutely. Shouldn't you be out inventing things?
I'm in a bit of a slump.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic1.com.
Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Hey sports cards fans, I'm Jeff with my buddy Adam, and we run Huggy Kissy Bear breaks on the Whatnot app. What's a card break? Simple. We open boxes of cards live, you pick your team, and we send you all the hits. With over 2,300 5-star reviews, we're all about you. New to card breaks? No sweat. We've got you covered with a sweet welcome package from us. Download the Whatnot app and follow us on Instagram and TikTok to view all of our past Sugar Bear hits. Huggy Kissy Bear Breaks, where collectors win big.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Let's talk Buckeyes in the NFL draft. Ohio State led all schools with 4 players drafted in the first round. How about that? Tyleek sneaking into the first round, and Josh Simmons also, which I think was a great pick by the Chiefs at the very end of the first round. Josh Simmons makes a ton of sense with Kansas City. So Ohio State leads with 4 first-round picks, 7 players drafted in the first 2 rounds, tying the school record for players drafted in rounds 1 and 2. Ohio State also led all schools with 3 players drafted in each of round 4 and 5. And, of course, Will Howard going in round 6. 14 total picks, the most of any school in this year's draft. Just 1 less than Georgia in the all-time record. So Ohio State, Seth McLaughlin, unfortunately, did not get drafted. Either did Josh Fryer or G. Scott, but they are undrafted free agents now, and that is not necessarily a bad thing because that gives you the opportunity to kind of pick the situation that you want to go for.
That's true. If you, most people make that argument. Like if it's late in the 7th round, I'd rather be an undrafted free agent. I have a contrarian view on that. I'm not just trying to play devil's advocate. If it was me, I'd rather always say at least I was an NFL draft pick. Because if you're a late 7th round pick or you're an undrafted free agent, either way the odds are stacked against you that you're going to make an NFL career. Now, you're right though. If you feel like, okay, they screwed up and I'm ready to go right now, it would be better to be a free agent if you know you're going to make an NFL career. Me, I'd rather always be able to say like I was an NFL draft pick rather than an undrafted free agent. All right, let's get into some stuff here. This is so interesting to me. First of all, it's too bad Seth McLaughlin didn't get drafted, but it's good for the Bengals. He signed with the Bengals as an undrafted free agent. Josh Fryer's going to the Cardinals, who keep loading up on Buckeyes. They got Cody Simon. They got Denzel Burke as well to go along with Paris Johnson Jr. and Marvin Harrison.
Cody Simon, right?
Yeah, so they got Paris Johnson. They got Marvin Harrison. They've got Cody Simon. And they got Denzel Burke, and they signed Josh Fryer as a priority free agent. G. Scott is going to the Patriots as a free agent. All right. So yeah, this is unbelievable. If you're a Buckeye fan, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. But you might not remember it to this extent. So Ohio State's 2021 recruiting class finished number 2 in the country. If they redid it, they'd finish number 1 by a wide margin. Alabama always got the late bump. Alabama finished number 1 that year. Ohio State finished number 2. Check this out. Let's go in order of how they were ranked. All right. Quinn Ewers was the top-rated player in that class, 7th-round pick. JT Tuimoloau, future 2nd-round pick, was the next highest-rated. Jack Sawyer, 4th-round pick. Donovan Jackson, 1st-round pick. Emeka Egbuka, 1st-round pick. Travion Henderson, 2nd-round pick. That is 6 5-stars in the same class, my friends.
Jeez.
6 5-stars. All right. And they all panned out except for Quinn Ewers.
Wow.
Although he was a good college quarterback. But as far as the NFL draft, I mean, Tuimoloau and Travion, 2nd-round picks. Those other guys, 1st-round picks, and Donovan Jackson, Emeka Egbuka. But listen, I'm not done yet. All right, another guy that was in that class, Michael Hall Jr., 2nd-round pick. Tyleek Williams, 1st-round pick. The aforementioned Marvin Harrison Jr., number 4 overall pick of the draft. Denzel Burke was in that class.
Are these all 4 stars or
Denzel was a 3-star. Marvin Harrison Jr. was the 16th rated member of that class. Ohio State signed 24 kids. Marvin was 16th. A little bit underrated. Denzel Burke was in that class. Jordan Hancock was in that class. Jordan Hancock was actually rated a little higher. I'm looking at my story that I wrote on Jordan Hancock. So how about that?
That's incredible.
Ewers, Tuimoloau, Sawyer, Donovan Jackson, Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, Michael Hall Jr., Tyleek Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jordan Hancock, Denzel Burke, all in the same class.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And again, 14 guys drafted. A couple highlights that we haven't talked about. We haven't even mentioned Jack Sawyer yet, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was pick 123.
We kind of mentioned it when I was going through my...
Threw it out there. Yeah. Travion Henderson going to Vrabel and the New England Patriots at pick 38. And then Quinshawn Judkins, which we've talked about a little bit, going to the Cleveland Browns at pick number 36. We all know the biggest steal in the history of the NFL draft was Tom Brady. Okay. Next segment, I'm going to quiz Dave on every quarterback in that 2000 draft that was taken before Tom Brady. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's crazy. And it's next on the Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
All right, so the story of the NFL draft was, of course, the fall of Shedeur Sanders. We know he went pick number 144. Dave, Tom Brady was the biggest steal in NFL draft history. And so now this segment, I'm going to quiz you regarding Tom Brady and the year he was drafted and the guys that went ahead of him, the quarterbacks taken ahead of him. This, of course, was a 2000 NFL draft. There were 6 quarterbacks taken before Tom Brady. And I want you to try and get to the point where you can name all 6 of these guys. Brady was pick 199, round 6 by the New England Patriots. 6 guys ahead. First off, do you know who the first round pick in 2000 was? I can give you some hints if you want.
Give me a hint if I don't get it. Is it Chad Pennington?
You got it.
Oh,
you got it.
Okay.
Very nice. And, you know, Pennington didn't have a terrible career. Did a couple things. Led the Jets to the postseason on 3 separate occasions. But, yes, Chad Pennington was off the board in the first round. And so that one's okay, right? Next, we get to 5 guys that might be a little bit more difficult for you to get.
Great.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, the second quarterback off the board in 2000, I've never even heard of this guy.
Oh,
so
boy.
that's how
In the
obscure
year
this is.
2000.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
gosh, 25 years ago.
I will give you a hint. This guy went, and this was pick number 65 overall.
Okay.
He went to Hofstra, if that helps.
Okay, I think I actually do remember that. There's no way I'm going to get it off top of. Just give it to me.
Okay, he was drafted by the 49ers, round 3, pick 65. It was Giovanni Carmazzi.
Okay, Giovanni Carmazzi. That's a great Italian name.
Yeah, great name.
Not a good pick and not a good quarterback.
Not a good pick, and he of
I bet
course
he can make some nice pasta.
Was taken in round 3. Brady, of course, round 6. All right, let's move on. This is a quarterback. You will know this guy. The Baltimore Ravens selected him, pick number 75 overall. He's out of Louisville.
From Louisville. Oh, geez. No, it wouldn't be Braum. Braum was way before then. I don't know.
Okay. He is Chris Redman.
Chris Redman
out of Louisville, pick 75. And again, what we're doing is we are going to go through the 6 quarterbacks that were drafted before Tom Brady, which was pick 199 in 2000. So we've got Chad Pennington, we have got Giovanni Carmazzi, we've got Chris Redman. Those are your first 3 quarterbacks taken. The 4th one you're going to know very well because he won a national championship. That's all the hints I'm giving.
He won a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did he win a national championship like the year before he came out, or just at one point he won a national championship?
It was not the year he came out. So he had, it looks like he had one more year after that.
Did he go to Tennessee?
He did.
Now I just got to remember his name. I can't believe I can't remember this guy's name. He followed Peyton Manning. Yes, I think it's T. Martin.
T. Martin, that's right. Yes.
I wanted to say T. Higgins, and that should have been my hint.
Yep. Helped them win the 1998 national championship.
Now, how about funny is that the Peyton Manning leaves and then they win a national championship?
Do you know
T. Martin.
Who drafted T. Martin?
T. Martin, Broncos. I have no idea.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Steelers.
Yep. Okay. And he was actually in round 6. He was pick 163 overall that year.
Okay.
Next one, this is a quarterback that was probably the most successful other than Brady. I guess you could argue Chad Pennington was a little bit more successful. But this guy, we know he did have a decent career. I'll give you a hint. 6th round pick out of West Virginia.
Country roads. Take me home. Oh, geez. Tall guy, I think. Skinny. I can't. I don't know the name. Give it to me.
West Virginia. Let me give you a little bit more. Played for the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, I can picture him. But skinny, tall guy, right?
Out of Pittsburgh, I believe, Mark Bolger.
Mark Bolger, yeah.
Yeah, Chad Pennington, more successful. Bolger did some things, right? He actually helped guide the Rams to a 12-4 record in 2003. So there you go. And the last one, this one's funny to me. And he went just before Tom Brady went. Browns fans know him. And who was the last quarterback? He went 183 overall. He was out of Southwest Texas State.
Oh, geez.
Threw a total of 152 passes in the NFL between the Browns and the Vikings.
McNown? No, McNown was a first-round pick by the Bears. Spurgeon Wynn.
Yes!
Spurgeon Wynn.
Yes.
He actually ended up starting, I think, for the Browns at least one game.
How about that? He was pick number 183. Tom Brady was pick 199.
How about that?
So there you go.
And Will Howard, I tell you what, Will Howard went in the 6th round. You know how confident Will is. And I hope he's thinking like this. You know he's thinking, Worked for Tom Brady. It's going to work for me.
You know what he's thinking? Some idiots took Kyle McCord before me.
Took Dylan Gabriel before me. Way before him.
He's got this list, too.
He's making a list. His list is a lot longer, too. A lot longer. All right. So you did a little Dave Doesn't Know there.
Yeah, and you did all right.
Did all right.
Some hints.
Ohio State transfer portal updates. They landed an offensive lineman yesterday in the portal. We're going to talk Ohio State football next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
All right, Buckeyes in the transfer portal. They continue to do a good job. They really don't lose anybody of significance, and they don't overhaul their roster. They get about 6 to 8 guys they really like. I mean, nothing's going to top last year, Scotty. It was just the perfect storm with Ohio State doing a great job and then Saban retiring. I mean, it was the perfect storm. You get Caleb Downs, you get Quinshon Judkins, you get Seth McLaughlin, you get Will Kazmarek. They just absolutely knocked it out of the park with the transfer portal last year. Will Howard, of course. And then this year, I think they did a really good job in the winter. Nothing's going to compare to last year, but they did a good job this past winter getting guys like C.J. Donaldson, Max Clare, Ethan Onionwa, and some others. And then the spring transfer portal opened. I was curious if they were going to get D-tackle. They have not gotten a D-tackle yet. They're still trying to get one. But they did get Bo Atkinson, a big defensive end from North Carolina, very productive. I think he's going to be a starting D-end. I don't know if that pushes Caden Curry to the number 3 spot or Kenyatta Jackson, but both those guys are going to play a lot anyway. Bo Atkinson, to me, was a really good get. 6'6", 265 pounds, still has 2 years of eligibility left. Really good get there. It was an Ohio State and Georgia battle. I like that too, Scotty. It came down to the Buckeyes and Bulldogs, and the Buckeyes won. And then the Buckeyes got a offensive lineman yesterday. Okay, now this is more of a depth piece. Local kid from Pickerington. He was at West Virginia for 1 year. Redshirted. His name is Justin Terry. Big guy, depth piece. I really like their offensive line for 2025. This is a kid that's they're hoping to mold and can help them in the future. Don't look for Justin Terry to play much this year as a redshirt freshman, but I like getting him. Again, as we were talking about, you can't have too many big boys, you know. And now it's weird how that used to be the 85 scholarship limit. Then you could have so many walk-ons, I think 30 walk-ons. Now it's just 105 is the limit. All 105 of those can be on scholarship if you want. It's weird how they're doing it now, but I like stockpiling depth. The other one they're looking at, they landed Justin Terry. The other one they're looking at, this is interesting, a young man named Orion Irving, who's visited Ohio State and really enjoyed his visit, Scotty. He's 6'6", 310 pounds, and he's from Sam Houston State, so kind of a big jump there, but they like Logan George. Logan George is another guy that I omitted earlier. They got in the winter transfer portal. They really like Logan George, a defensive end. And, he's coming from Idaho State. So you never know. But they already brought in Orion Irving. And, again, they're going to still look at defensive tackles. So we'll see what happens. The window to enter the portal closed on Friday, but you can still get guys in the portal. They just had to make themselves available by Friday.
Let's talk betting odds now with this Ohio State football team real quick. They are, of course, the betting favorite to win the national championship next year. Them in Texas. Ohio State is 5-1. Texas plus 550. We do our betting at Hollywood Casino Columbus. And so Ohio State, the favorite to win it all again next year. I was taking a peek again at Heisman Trophy odds, and Jeremiah Smith still sitting there around 13-1. And then you've got Julian Sayin at 15-1. And Dave, when we come back, I'm going to test you on something because there is a betting line for Ohio State, Texas. There's also a betting line for Ohio State, Michigan. Those are look-ahead lines. I'm going to have you guess at what those numbers are next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casino's On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY. And when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
All right, point spreads for Ohio State's opener against Texas and the regular season finale at Michigan are available right now. I don't know what those odds are. Scotty's going to quiz me. All right, let's start with Texas.
Yep, let's start with that Texas game. Of course, we know that's late August, so August 30th. Can't wait for that one. Dave, what do you think the line is for Ohio State, Texas? The two favorites to win it all next year, Ohio State, Texas.
Which
What's
is crazy.
That game line?
Isn't it crazy that they just played in the semifinals? And then they're leading off the next season against each other. And just that alone would be insane. And as you mentioned, Ohio State and Texas are the betting favorites to win the national championship. It's crazy. I think the Buckeyes are favored, but it's going to be not by much. I'll say Ohio State by 3.
You hit it right on the number.
On the money.
On the money. Great call. Yep, Ohio State a 3-point favorite. The money line on that one right now is Ohio State minus 140. If you're looking to get a little money in on the over-under right now on Texas, Ohio State, it's 50.5. So there you go. And all right, Ohio State going to Ann Arbor this year. The look-ahead line has, of course, Ohio State favored, but favored by how much?
Buckeyes favored at the Big House by 2.5.
Way under. Come on, keep going up.
Oh, really?
Up.
Really? I thought... Okay, let's get about 5.5.
That's it. On the money, 5.5. Good call. So here's the deal. The spread on that one, 5.5. Ohio State minus 200 on the money line to go up to Ann Arbor and win. Over under on that game, 47.5. So those are the two game lines that are out there so far in advance. But right now, there you go. As far as the futures go, by the way, I did want to update the national championship odds. Ohio State 5-1, Texas plus 550, Georgia 6-1, Oregon plus 750. You got Penn State 8-1. And a little bit further down the board, some names of interest. Notre Dame is 14-1. Clemson 20-1. Some people around here really like that Clemson number at 20-1. Michigan 25-1. And let's see if we can get USC's the next Big Ten team at 90-1. Your thoughts on the board as far as futures go? Because I've been playing around with some futures. I sent you one yesterday where I just started putting together OKC to win the NBA title. I was throwing out some NHL Stanley Cup numbers, and then, of course, finishing out with Ohio State winning it all. But looking at that board of odds, what do you think?
Yeah, I am looking forward to when we can do our parlays of who's going to make the college football playoff, because I've got my little my list here that I like. I like 7 teams. I'm going to do a nice 7-leg parlay when it comes out. I'm curious to see what type of odds I'll get, because all these teams are going to be projected to make it, but maybe not all of them. But 7-leg parlay, I'll still probably get good odds and then I'll probably miss it by 1. But Ohio State, the 7 teams are Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, Clemson, and Alabama. Just to make the playoffs. Those 7.
That seems relatively safe. Of course, we did this same thing last year where we put, I think we did 8 teams.
Sometimes I did 9. The one I almost hit, I had a couple of 8-leggers. I almost hit an 8-legger. If Bama would have made it and it looked like they were a lock late, I would have hit that one. But yeah, I did a few 9 legs. That's a little too rich.
And I'm trying to remember exactly when that bet was offered, because I want to say that it was an early summer offer.
Yeah, June sounds right.
It was offered for quite a while. I think what happens here, I think they're probably waiting until like the final transfer portal names are finally done, and you get to May, and at that point, you're pretty much looking like rosters are mostly set and everything. So I would say we'll probably start seeing the to make the playoff bets available probably late May, early June.
How about this trade that Tennessee and UCLA made at quarterback?
Yeah, how about that?
I mean, college football is just, and listen, the ratings are great. People are like, college football is dying. It's not, okay? It's not dying. Has there been a lot of upheaval? Yes, definitely not dying. Thriving. And the drama is just off the charts great. Joey Aguilar is now transferring from UCLA to Tennessee after Nico transfers from Tennessee to UCLA. It's just amazing. And, you know, it'd be funny if this ends up working out better for Tennessee. I think Nico is better than Aguilar, but still, it's not like Nico's like great or anything. He's tough. He's got a big arm. We saw him. He's tough. Big guy, and he's tough, but man.
It just keeps coming back to me, Dave, because what was Nico making at Tennessee? Roughly around
$2.2 million.
Okay, $2.2 million.
And I was taking a hit on that. So his advisors, his dad and his third uncle, didn't really give him good advice there.
Well, not only that, but you're going out to California where you're going to have to deal with a completely different structure as far as what things cost out there versus what things cost in Knoxville, Tennessee.
He is from there, but another funny thing is he gets to come to Ohio State to play the Buckeyes this year. In November, no less. UCLA gets to come here.
It's incredible. You know, it's funny. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Shedeur and the fall to him in the fifth round. What I want to do next is kind of look through over the last 25 years, fifth round quarterbacks. Let's go ahead and see if we see any in the last 25 years that have gone in the right direction. What's the hit rate when you draft a quarterback in the fifth round? Do they succeed or are they going to fail? We're going to get into that next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm
I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So since the year 2000, there have been 34 quarterbacks that have gone in the 5th round. Okay, we're going to go through and see how 5th round quarterbacks have done here in just a second. I'm going to start reading off names to you of all these quarterbacks that have gone in the 5th round. And the reason we're doing that, of course, Shedeur Sanders falls to the Cleveland Browns in round 5. And I got to tell you, just looking at this initially here, I'm not seeing a lot of names of successful 5th round quarterbacks. So, Dave, I'm going to go through the names. You tell me, stop me when you hear a successful 5th round quarterback. I'm not really going in order by year or anything. These are just kind of throwing them out there. All right. And we've got Jeff Rowe, Troy Smith. We've got Randy Fasani, Kurt Kittner, Brandon Doman, Craig Nail. We got John Skelton. We've got Jonathan Crompton. We've got Ingle Martin. We've got Omar Jacobs. We've got Brett Huntley.
Is Dan Orlovsky on that list somewhere?
Hold on. We got Rhett Bomar. We got Nate Davis. We've got Easton Stick, Clayton Thorson. We got T. Martin. We've got Aaron Murray and A.J. McCarron.
Boom.
That was 2014.
A.J. McCarron came this close to beating the Steelers in a playoff game, but
Kevin Hogan. That was 2016. Ricky Stanzi.
Ricky Stanzi of the Iowa.
Yep.
Great. He's an Ohio native, by the way.
TJ Yates. Nathan Enderle. Gotta admit, I've never heard of him. Brian St. Pierre. John David Booty.
John David Booty.
Dennis Dixon. Josh Johnson. Eric Ainge. Let's see. Let's keep going. Again, this is 5th round quarterbacks in the last 25 years. Dan Orlovsky, Adrian McPherson.
Orlovsky's the most famous or the most successful out of that group, but not anything he did in the NFL, though.
Mike White went round 5. Jake Fromm went round 5. Nathan Peterman. Our buddy Craig Krenzel. Those are your 5th round draft picks. In the last 25 years.
That's insane.
Not one
panned out.
Not one.
At least Krenzel started, I guess, a couple games his rookie year for the Bears. I think he won a game as a starter. That's a pretty low bar. And you're like, well, at least he played in a game.
So we're 0 for 34.
Wow. And we have a comment on our YouTube page. By the way, I appreciate everybody who is watching on YouTube and commenting. And by the way, we're going to take your calls. Not right now, but next segment, top of the hour. I'll put don't call right now because the lines are not open. Cam will open those during the break. But I'll give you guys the number now if you don't know it. It's 614-821-9710, 614-821-9710. We want to hear from you guys at the top of the hour about anything, NFL draft, Ohio State football, anything you guys want to talk about. Reds baseball, probably going to be a hot topic of conversation on the show, I imagine. 3-game winning streak for the Cincinnati Reds.
You're really trying to make that happen.
One game over 500, and their Columbus home is where? The Fan. All right, now we have Jericho 1 on YouTube. He makes a good point here. He's like, the general narrative about Shedeur's draft slide is off base, he says. He says, this is all about his father. And I hear what he's saying. I think that is a huge part of it. Is like teams are like, listen, like I read a story today in The Athletic, and we all know this. So like, listen, fans often think the backup quarterback's the most popular guy in town. Front offices do not want their backup quarterback to like have too much attention. They want the face of the franchise to be the face of the franchise, the starting quarterback. So that's definitely a part of it, is the circus that comes along with it. The other thing I'm hearing, though, that he said a big reason was, it'd been one thing if Shedeur came into these interviews and was like, yeah, they know he's Deion's son. Of course he's going to be a little cocky. That's okay. But like apparently, and we're not in those interviews, but there's a lot of anonymous NFL coaches that are saying he did not interview well. In fact, he interviewed very poorly, very entitled, all this. So I think it's a lot of different things combined there, but him not interviewing well, And you know how I feel about. I like Dion. I mean, whatever you want to say, he took over a team that was 1-11. 2 years later, he had them 9-4 ranked in the top 25. So whatever you want to say, he's doing a good job at Colorado. But I think that it's multifaceted. I think Jericho one makes a good point, but I think it's multifaceted why Shedeur slid. And I think it was great value for the Browns. I just think getting Dylan Gabriel is just like, I thought at the time that was bad, Scotty. It makes it look even worse getting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, because if you just got Shedeur in the 5th round, it looks like they wanted a bridge year for next year. They're not going to go in on quarterbacks, but then you get 2 quarterbacks in the draft, and maybe Gabriel will pan out. It seems like they just threw away a 3rd-round pick, in my opinion.
Look, for Shedeur, 5th round, it's a lottery ticket at this point. I just read off 34 5th-round quarterbacks, and none of them were successful in the NFL. And so there's probably a ton of reasons why he fell the way he did. Again, if you were to look at the betting stats, the over-under on his draft position on draft night was over under 21.5. He falls all the way to pick 144.
And even 21.5 seemed like, geez, that's a slide for him. Man, not really, not comparatively speaking. All right, the first hour of the show is in the books. The second hour is coming your way. And again, we want to hear from you guys. Give us a call about the NFL draft, Ohio State football, or anything else. The number is 614-821-9710. Again, that's 614-9710. This is On the Money.
Colin Man here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Watching big events are more fun at Hollywood Casino. For example, there's this draft thing coming up. Large men get selected to move to different cities and play football. That's all I'm legally allowed to say. Not only do you get the excitement of on-site wagering and camaraderie, there's prizes to win at the Sportsbook. And sign up for Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on the house. Do it now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, save big on 2-pound packages of fresh, delicious strawberries. They're only $3.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
He shoots, he scores!
No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan.
Good morning,
morning. I'm Cam Taylor. The 2025 NFL Draft wrapped up yesterday, and the OSU Buckeyes doubled their amount of draft picks on the final day. They finished with a total of 14 draft picks from the national championship team, which is one short of the all-time record of 15. Will Howard and Jack Sawyer are both going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round after taking Dylan Gabriel the day before in the 3rd. The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Miami Heat 124-87 to take a commanding 3-0 series lead and are one win away from moving on to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Game 4 will be in Miami tomorrow night at 7:30. The Columbus Crew beat the San Jose Earthquakes 2-1 yesterday. They will next play Charlotte FC at home next Saturday at 7:30. The Guardians beat the Red Sox 5-4 yesterday and play again today at 1:40. And the Reds beat the Rockies 6-4 yesterday. You can finish a 3-game sweep today at 3:10.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. We're going to take your calls in just a bit at 614-821-9710, 614-821-9710. Calls about anything. But right about now, it's time for the Parlay Party. Hit it, Cam. All right. Parlay Party is where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scotty Vegas, my friend, what are you celebrating this morning?
I'm going to celebrate a little championship that was won last night. We happened to go to the Sports Trivia Cup, which is a big trivia contest held here in Ohio. Had a blast last night. A lot of fun. There were 60 teams competing, 10 people at a table, and unfortunately, you weren't able to make it. So Jeff did off in your replacement, and Ryan Baker and I went, and we participated, and we won the whole darn thing.
Nice job, boys.
We got an enormous trophy that we brought home, and they got us a wooden baseball bat that it basically says Trivia Champions on it, and just had so much fun. A lot of laughs. Ted Ginn was there asking some of the trivia questions. Phillip Rivers was there.
Ted Ginn and Phillip Rivers were there.
They were.
This is a high class trivia.
It was really cool. A lot of fun on a Saturday night, and yes, the fan team brought home that sports trivia championship. So I'm celebrating that.
Good job, boys.
I'm celebrating the fact that the phone lines are open. 614-821-9710. Get on the line. Tell us what you think about how your team did in the draft over the weekend. I'm also celebrating the fact that we've got a live golf tournament today where I've got Cam Smith for big money. I've got Joaquim Neiman for big money. They're both in the final group. I need them to beat Bryson DeChambeau. That was part of a parlay that I put together. And the last leg is I got Cam Smith and Joaquim Neiman, and hopefully DeChambeau does what he did in the final round of the Masters, which is blow up, because I don't want him to win. Anybody but Bryson at this point. Lastly, I'm celebrating the fact that Jack Sawyer and Will Howard are going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I think they're perfect situations for two of my favorite Buckeyes of all time. I love Will Howard going to the Steelers. I love Jack Sawyer going to the Steelers as well. Great situations. Dave, what are you celebrating on this Sunday?
I'm celebrating Cincinnati Reds are on a 3-game winning streak. They're over 500. They go for the sweep in Colorado today. Colorado Rockies are not very good at baseball this year. They're 4-22.
And you and I might be going to another game in a couple weeks here.
Yeah. Might see another really good team in the White Sox. We should go when the Reds are playing the White Sox, because there's a good chance I might actually see the Reds win in person.
So we might actually see them score a run this time?
Might score a run. We were in the middle game of they had a 3-game stretch earlier in the year where they lost 1-0, which is really hard to do 2 straight times. They did it in 3 straight games, and we were there for the middle one of their 1-0 stretch there. But yeah, they've turned it around now, and I feel good about that. So definitely celebrating that. Cam, what are you celebrating, my man?
I think I have to keep it going. There's 2 episodes left of Righteous Gemstones, so definitely excited about that. Some great TV coming out. Andor, if you're a Star Wars fan. And just this beautiful weather that we've had. It finally feels like spring, and so definitely excited about that as well.
And as Scotty said, I'm excited to hear from you guys. We've got a couple on the line already. The number is 614-821-9710. Our leadoff batter is Greg. Welcome to the show, Greg.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I want to talk about the NFL draft. I watched all 7 rounds this year, which is unusual for me. Usually I'm done at 3. But my interest, I wanted to see where the Ohio State quarterbacks fell in the draft. I was surprised that Quinn Ewers didn't get picked till the 7th. But my biggest takeaway from it is the Browns. I felt they did a pretty good job, especially on their trade for the second pick, Travis Hunter. I felt they came out a winner on that. I can't see the Jags placing that much value or any team in Travis Hunter. I mean, he's talented, but I don't see him going both ways in the NFL. They might try for one season, but I'm sure they'll put together some packages for him, but I don't see him being a two-way player. So if their thinking is we're getting 2 players for 1, I think Cleveland came out a winner on that deal.
Yeah, Greg, I think it's one of those things where yeah, go ahead. So go ahead. Yeah, finish your thought. Sorry about that.
Shedeur Sanders. Boy, Mel Kiper was really off on that deal, and John Cruden's
yes, he was.
prediction didn't come out very accurate either. But
Mel was like personally offended, I think. That was funny.
Yeah. So let me hear what you guys have to think.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Greg, as always. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Quinn Ewers to the 7th, I didn't see that coming. Will Howard to the 6th, didn't see that coming. Will Howard being drafted behind Kyle McCord, I didn't see any of that coming. But yeah, I think Shedeur is very good value for the Browns. It's just Dylan Gabriel is the one that just throws me off. And I liked, even though we know Mason Graham's a Michigan man, I know he's a heck of a good player. I think that was a good trade for the Browns. Now, Travis Hunter, I think he is going to be a star in the NFL, but I agree that you cannot do what he did at Colorado. He basically didn't leave the field. He wasn't like a guy that was like Chris Gamble when he was at Ohio State, would played a lot both ways, but maybe, wouldn't play as much at wide receiver as he did corner, although there were times Gamble played the entire game as well. And he didn't leave the field at Colorado. I think what's going to happen in the NFL is he'll play both ways, but he can't play full-time both ways. If he's a corner, starting corner, the number 1 corner, then he can play a little bit on offense. Or if he's the starting wide receiver, he can play a little bit on defense.
Yeah, to me, it almost feels like he's a guy who you would play on defense in the red zone, right? Like just like sparingly. He's not going to play both ways the whole time. I think that would be ridiculous. One thing that Greg touched on too was the Quinn Ewers factor and how far he fell. And it really is incredible to think about. We think about that Ohio State class and how much it was built up that Quinn Ewers was this can't miss prospect. He was the number 1 perfect recruit coming in, and he ends up being a 7th round pick. It's wild to think about, and it's so crazy to think if he had come back for one more year in college, kind of opened it up as far as his NIL goes, right? I think he probably makes $4 million. He does next year in NIL playing college football. Instead, now, what's the chances as a 7th round pick? Last segment we went over all the 5th round quarterbacks, and the last 34 since 2000 have all done nothing. So the chances of being successful as a 7th round, it's wild.
Yeah, and we'll find out for sure one day. I don't know if he'll ever release how much money he's made in college, but I bet you he's made a lot more in college than he'll ever make in the NFL combined, because he made a lot in college. You're right, though. I mean, Carson Beck is making $4 million this year at Miami. Do you think if Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck were in the portal at the same time, you think Miami would have preferred Quinn Ewers? I do.
Absolutely.
So you're right. I mean, he turned down $4 or $5 million. He did have another year to come back. Yeah. All right. Our 2-hole hitter is Drew. Welcome to the show, Drew.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Yeah, so I'm a Browns fan. Obviously would have liked to have had Will Howard for a quarterback, but I didn't mind the Dylan Gabriel pick. Outside of Ward, he was about the most consistent for the year. Now, I know he's short, but he's very accurate and ran into buzzsaw, obviously, with the Buckeyes. I wasn't enthralled with Sanders' pick, but I think it's a good opportunity. for trade capital later. And because what they built up with the Jags with this trade, I don't know what their quarterback roster is, but I know with Sunshine coming off his injury, they really want to hit a home run with their pick, and to have him maybe aligned as trade capital to go down there with Hunter could be maybe a good pick down the road that they could get future picks for a trade.
Yeah,
Thoughts, guys?
Good call. I like a lot of what you said. And now Browns fans all next year are going to be rooting against the Jags, right? Because
Right.
you want that pick to be as valuable as it is, as it can be. And I think, it's a Jags team that a couple years ago, they made the playoffs. It looked like they were kind of in the right direction. Last year, a huge step back. They do have some weapons on that offense. It feels like this is a team that probably will, if I had to guess right now, be one of those middle of the pack type teams. So you're looking at probably that Browns draft pick you would assume would probably be in the 10 to 20 range, I would say, is kind of where you're thinking that'll be. And then as far as the Browns go in the quarterback room, this is a build for the future, right? And almost and I know Browns fans aren't going to want to hear this, but you almost want a year where you're kind of picking near the top again next year, because I don't see them doing anything significant, right? So you almost want to be in that top 3 to 5 as far as draft picks next year, and then you address the real quarterback situation in the room.
That's why I was surprised. I wasn't surprised they took one quarterback. I was surprised they took two quarterbacks. To me, I thought going into the draft, they were thinking, okay, we're going to get our quarterback next year. We've got our bridge guy this year in Flacco, who did really well for them 2 years ago. You got Kenny Pickett, who was a first-round pick, looking like a first-round bust now with his third team in 4 years. But you have Kenny Pickett as the backup, right? Maybe get a rookie just, that can then be the backup next year. I get that. But getting two quarterbacks, it's like, geez. I liked the trade. Getting that first-round pick next year, fantastic trade by the Browns. But if you're stockpiling picks, but then you're throwing away picks, although, Drew is a Browns fan and he disagrees. He liked the Dylan Gabriel pick, and he made a good point. Let's say Dylan Gabriel is that guy that maybe he could be a starter one day. At the very least, let's say they do get a first-round quarterback next year. Dylan Gabriel then could be the backup. So you got your backup situation then as well. And then he mentioned maybe you could trade Shedeur Sanders. If it works out like that, maybe Andrew Berry and the staff, maybe they were crazy like a fox, but it's right now it seems very curious to me.
So it's been all over the board as far as Browns grades that I've noticed. Like, a lot of people are giving them, like Mel Kiper thought they had the best draft of anybody. He gave them an A+. Now, he also loves Shedeur, so getting Shedeur in round 5. But the trade itself, if you look at that, I think they hit a home run with that trade. We talk about, the fact that they get another second-round pick, and they got, I think they addressed a huge problem that they had last year, which was they couldn't run the ball last year. And the Browns, in that identity, they want to run the football. And they got 2 running backs, including a dude who scores a ton of touchdowns, and we know it, in Quinshawn.
And never gets hurt.
And
he ran the ball a ton
reliable.
at Ole Miss. Both years at Ole Miss, he ran the ball a ton, never got hurt. Ran the ball a lot at Ohio State. 16-game season, never got hurt. I'm sure he had bumps and bruises, no doubt about it. He is a 3-down back. I think that was a great pick by the Browns. Great pick. All right. Some picks weren't so great over the years for quarterbacks. Scotty's going to quiz me next on where quarterbacks went in the draft. That's coming up next on The Money.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Common Man here of Spring Cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading. This is the month to do it. Freshen your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. If you buy 4, you pay for 2. If you need 12, you pay for 6. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
Here on The Fan, we talk about getting rid of joint pain with the regenerative experts at QC Kinetics. There's no surgery, no downtime, just your body's own healing properties working to give you relief. So you can enjoy doing the activities that you love, like the fastest growing sport in the country. That's pickleball. And here in the Columbus area, QC Kinetics is proud to be a sponsor of Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club. Learn, grow your skills, challenge yourself, and meet other pickleball players. Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club features the ultimate indoor facility with 16 state-of-the-art courts. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Paddle Tap welcomes all skill levels. See what you're missing. Call Paddle Taps and mention QC Kinetics, and you'll get 1 hour of free play, courtesy of QC Kinetics, the people who take care of those achy joints, so you can play for years to come. For details, go to pbtaps.com. That's pbtaps.com. pbtaps.com.
Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Common Man and Timmy are hosting afternoons together. Best friends, lots of jokes none of us understand. Not safe for work Instagram models. God help us.
Help! What should we do? Weekdays at 3, starting May 12th.
The Fan.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Picture this. You walk into a Tim Hortons and get a warm toasted English muffin or a buttery biscuit layered with fluffy fresh cracked eggs, melty cheese, and savory sausage or bacon. Now imagine that breakfast sandwich for just $3 when you buy any size coffee, hot or cold. Because when you're running on empty, you want a breakfast that does more than just fills you up. So start your morning with Tim's, because you deserve a breakfast that's as good as your day is going to be. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid only during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Additional terms apply.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy 4.40% APY intro rate until 2026. That's 6 times the national average. Get the flexibility you need with easy access to your funds. Don't miss out. Offer expires April 30th, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for your Sunday. We're looking ahead to plenty of sunshine, high temperatures into the upper 60s for this afternoon. And then for tonight, mostly clear and quite cool as we dip into the lower 40s. By Monday, we're tracking more sunshine and warmer temperatures into the upper 70s for your Monday afternoon. We'll continue to warm up into the 80s here by Tuesday, but also tracking the chance for storms by Tuesday afternoon. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
So we're going to have some quarterback fun this segment. And we want you to play along, whether you're in your car, maybe you're on a walk because it's a nice morning, maybe you're on the lawnmower, wherever you are, we want you to play along with us in this little quarterback contest. And what it is I'm looking at quarterbacks that were drafted over the last 25 years, and I'm going to quiz on what round these quarterbacks went in the NFL draft. Now, earlier this hour, I talked a little bit about how round 5 quarterbacks have been absolute duds. If you go back to the year 2000, I read off 34 names of guys that were drafted in round 5 as far as quarterbacks go, and there wasn't a single one.
Over 34.
None.
Yes.
There was 0 quality quarterbacks that went in 5th rounds. And the reason we bring that up is, of course, Shedeur Sanders ends up 5th round to the Cleveland Browns. Not a high likelihood. It's kind of a lottery ticket with a 5th round quarterback. And then I was going through, and 6th round really isn't much better. You know, we're talking about Will Howard went in the 6th round, and Kyle McCord also went in the 6th round. And there's not a lot of success stories out of the 6th round either, other than Tom Brady. And then one other name you could throw out, Gardner Minshew was a 6th rounder, but boy, we're really stretching to find some success in the 6th round. All right, it's time. I'm reading off quarterbacks.
Okay.
You're telling me what round they got drafted in. Play at home, and we'll give Dave the opportunity to play as well. All right. This is the 2016 draft class of quarterbacks. What round did Cardale Jones, our friend Cardale Jones, go in?
Cardale was a 3rd round pick. 4th round pick.
Fourth round. 4th round's correct. Thank you. Same draft class. How about Dak Prescott?
4th round.
That's correct. He was actually 4 picks before Cardale.
Interesting.
Dak was 135. Cardale Jones was 139. Moving along, we're going to go to 2011. And your boy, Andy Dalton. What round was Andy Dalton?
Oh, 2nd round. Same year they got A.J. Green.
Yeah. 2nd round is correct. He was pick number 35. We'll go to 2003 draft class. How about Cliff Kingsbury?
Cliff Kingsbury, 5th round.
No. He was actually a 6th round pick.
Okay.
And of course, we know him as
he was one of the great 5th round picks we talked about earlier.
And of course, we know him as a coach now. Sticking with some themes of guys that Buckeye fans would know. What round was Ken Dorsey selected in 2003?
Ken Dorsey was a 7th round pick.
7th round pick is correct.
Go with your first instinct. For some reason, that popped in my mind. Then I questioned it, but I went back to it.
2001. Let's go Drew Brees.
Drew Brees was a 2nd round pick by the Chargers.
That is correct.
Early 2nd.
That's correct. He was actually the first pick of the 2nd round.
In the 1st round, you know who they got? LaDainian Tomlinson.
And that was pick number 32 in 2001. So a heck of a pick for Drew Brees to go first pick of the 2nd round. Probably the best pick of that entire draft. Him and Michael Vick, I think you could argue.
And Tomlinson.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 2008, Chad Henne. What round did Chad Henne go in?
Chad Henne, 2nd.
That is correct. Well, you're pretty good at this, Dave. Okay, let's go to the 2012 quarterback class. What round was Russell Wilson selected in?
Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick.
Yes.
On the way back in the draft.
Okay, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, 4th round. Same year they got Robert Griffin III.
One of the rare successful 4th round picks. There's a few. More so than the 5th and 6th round guys. But yeah, Cousins, 4th round. Nick Foles, same draft class, 2012.
Nick Foles, 3rd round.
Nick Foles was 3rd round. You were killing this. Man, it's like you studied up on this.
I swear to God, I didn't.
Okay, I'm going to maybe get a little more tricky here. 2005, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick for the Rams, who was then traded to the Bengals and played for every other team in the NFL. He was either a 6th or a 7th. I'll say 7th.
Correct. Man. 2018, Steeler fans will know this one.
Mason Rudolph, round 3.
Yes, round 3, correct.
I'm good at this, aren't I?
You really are. This is annoying me, actually, that you're this good, because Scotty doesn't know. Generally, we have to play. Scotty doesn't know. Oh, no. All right, 2020, what round was Jalen Hurts?
Second.
No, that is incorrect.
Jalen Hurts was not a second-round pick?
Nope. Well, wait a second here. This says round 3, but pick 53.
No, he was a second-round pick.
Second round. It says round 3, but that is wrong. You are the right.
Yes.
So the paper...
Chat GPT is wrong. I'm right.
Paper is wrong.
I'm the AI model when it comes to football knowledge.
AI did me in there.
I'm kidding.
All right, 2007, Troy Smith.
Troy Smith was a 5th-round pick, late by the Baltimore Ravens.
That is correct. Pick number 174, 5th round. Geno Smith in 2013 went in what round?
2nd round.
Oh, I'm really getting annoyed by you. That is correct. 2004.
Okay.
Guess what quarterback I'm thinking? I'm going to think of our friend Craig Krenzel. What round?
5th round by the Bears.
What pick number?
Let's see. So do we have 153?
Okay, I was going to say, if you get this right, I'm going to really be angry. Very good. It's 148, so you were very close. Let's go with 2019 draft class, and we'll go. See, I already gave this one away. I can't go Gardner Minshew because I mentioned he's one of the successful. Yeah. I'll go 2019 Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, 2nd round.
That's correct.
He's mad.
Last one.
He's literally mad.
Last one, and this one's actually I think you'll get this one, because 2022, what round was Bailey Zappi?
Bailey Zappi, 4th round.
Oh, my gosh. That's correct. What
I retire.
That was incredible, Dave. I got to tell you, unless you spent all last night going through every quarterback class of the last 25 years, that was just ridiculous.
I am an NFL draft nerd. I love the NFL draft.
I should give you some really ridiculous ones.
And I love college football, and football is my favorite sport. So,
okay.
Hey, my useless knowledge sometimes comes into play here, Scotty.
Ricky Stanzi, 2011.
Ricky Stanzi, 3rd round.
Nope, 5th round.
5th round. So there you go.
Yeah.
See, let's send Scotty off on a high note. He was getting a little. When Scotty gets mad, he'll just literally just leave. You know what I mean? Like, he'll be hosting a party. There'll be a game on. And, relatives will be over there, like close relatives, and he'll be watching the game. And then all of a sudden, he's got money on. It doesn't go his way. He'll get up. He'll turn the TV off, walk out of the room, and just leave.
Flip the table over. Bad.
I was going to leave that part out. Call your family members every name in the book. No, he doesn't do that. But he does do the thing where he just will turn the TV off and just walk out of the room and not come back.
Yeah, I did do that, and it actually worked out for me because I turned the TV off. Michigan was beating, who was it in the Sweet 16 they were playing? Were they playing, who were they playing? Whoever.
Was it Auburn or was it?
Yes, it was. It was Auburn. Auburn was down, and I'm like, I cannot watch Michigan beat Auburn. So I go up, turn the TV off. Everybody's staring at it. I'm like, no, we're not watching this anymore. And then tides turned, and Michigan lost, and all was wonderful.
There was a little bit of this or that going on, just like next on the money.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down, down things are up.
Sounds like things
You don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh, yeah. Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic. You know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Hey Sports Cards fans, I'm Jeff with my buddy Adam, and we run Huggy Kissy Bear breaks on the Whatnot app. What's a card break? Simple. We open boxes of cards live, you pick your team, and we send you all the hits. With over 2,300 five-star reviews, we're all about you. New to card breaks? No sweat. We've got you covered with a sweet welcome package from us. Download the Whatnot app and follow us on Instagram and TikTok to view all of our past Sugar Bear hits. Huggy Kissy Bear Breaks, where collectors win big.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan Ohio sports destination. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. Wanna play?
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scotty Vegas, producer Cam Taylor at the controls. And right about now, it's time for one of our favorite segments. It is This or That. Hit it, Cam.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that.
All right, if you're new to the show, this is pretty complicated. So we're going to name something. You said if you tell us if you want to get with this or that. Actually, we're going to tell you, but play along. All right, first one. You guys getting with Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders will have a better NFL career?
Oh, I like that question. That's a really good one. I would guess neither one will have much of an NFL career, to be honest with you. But I would, if I had to pick out of those two, I'll go Shedeur.
I am going to go Shedeur as well. If the issue is, because I think, the film for Gabriel looked good this year. There's no doubt about it. Just look at the first Ohio State game. Second Ohio State game, not so much, but he didn't really have a chance that game. That was really a different defense that Ohio State deployed that game. They really shook things up after that first game. So he's got a chance. But Shedeur, I think the one thing that people were concerned about was he was just too cocky, and maybe this has humbled him a little bit. So I think Shedeur Sanders is the more talented of the two. I was very impressed with what he did at Colorado, and I'll go with Shedeur Sanders. What do you think, Cam?
Pretty easy, Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, gosh, and I'm not with you guys on hating that third round pick for the Browns. I know you guys, Dillon Gabriel. You guys are both that was a horrendous pick. I'm not quite there. I agree with the strategy of taking two quarterbacks in the draft, and just because look, the more shots you get, the more opportunities you do to hit on one of them. So I don't hate it like you guys do, but I understand. And I think the probability is that neither one will be all that successful. But
when you name
I don't hate him.
The Browns' current quarterback room, it almost sounds surreal. Let's just go through it.
No doubt.
Deshaun Watson, all right, Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I know.
That is a crazy quarterback room. All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. All right, next, this or that question. One of the interesting things with the NFL draft is some people will sit there. We talked to Greg during the hour who said he watched all 7 rounds. Are you guys getting with after day one, you still watch a ton of the NFL draft? Or are you maybe an hour or less a day on watching the NFL draft after round one?
Well, I have to for my job because especially this year, there's a ton. And we split it up with a couple of my other colleagues at Bucknuts. But we had to, we have the stories pre-written, but then you have to switch, obviously, some of the X's into the actual team and where they went. So I have to watch it for my job. But Scotty, even before then, I would watch pretty much the entire NFL draft. I've loved the NFL draft since I was a little kid.
That's how I am with round one. I'll watch, the entire first round, and then I'm kind of an in and out kind of guy. I'll watch a little bit and then walk away, and I'll throw it on the radio a little bit just to kind of keep track while I'm doing other things. And the cool thing is I wasn't watching very much of it on Saturday. However, about 5 minutes before Will Howard got picked, I turned it on. Actually, Ryan Baker and Tito were at my house. We were on our way to the Sports Trivia Cup, and we watched Will Howard get picked. And I think that was lucky and cool because I had only watched maybe 10, 15 minutes of draft coverage on Saturday, and I got to see Will Howard. So I'm kind of in and out mostly. I'm under an hour on Friday and Saturday watching the draft. Cam, how about you?
Like you guys, definitely watching all of the first round. NBA playoffs kind of interfere with Friday night for me. I would check in kind of on Twitter and see where the Buckeyes were going. And then yesterday, flipped it on and off and definitely was trying to see where Will was going to end up, where some of the last Buckeyes were going to get picked.
All right. This is an important one. We're going to food. All right. You guys getting with, you like your burgers cooked the same way as your steak, meaning if you like your steak medium, you want your burgers to be kind of medium. You guys getting with that? Or are you getting with you like them to be different?
This is a great story because we were out at the casino and I was kind of setting up the broadcast and you were at the table and the waitress came over and you knew that I wanted steak. We're at Hollywood Casino. We're at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. You knew that the best thing to order on that menu is the steak because the value is incredible.
And there was probably if I didn't order then, it might have been another hour before we ordered, you know?
So then you went, you said medium rare.
Yes.
And I got to be honest with you, I'm not a medium rare guy. I'm almost always medium with the steak, medium well with the burger. So there you go.
I was going to say that. I used to you go to Red Robin, they'd say some pink or no pink for burgers. I always go some pink because I thought
a little bit of pink.
I used to want, my burgers medium and also my steak. I like my steak medium rare, and I like my burgers well done. They don't have to be crispy, at least medium well. So I do not like my steak and my burgers cooked. I like some blood with my steak. I don't need any blood with my burgers.
I'm kind of just both medium for the steak and for the burger, a little bit of pink for both.
Okay, it is one of our most loyal listeners' birthdays today.
Yes.
Tony Gallagher, it's his birthday. He listens every single week. We appreciate it. And so I'm going to go with a food birthday question. And here's what we're going to do. Are you guys getting with on birthdays, you like the cake or ice cream? You got to go cake or ice cream. You can't do a combination of cake and ice cream. What's better?
I mean, that's the go-to, though, right? The cake with the ice cream. But if I have to pick one or the other, I'm more of an ice cream guy than cake. So I'll get with ice cream.
What flavor are you?
I like chocolate's always been my go-to, but I like cookie dough. I like mint chocolate chip, stuff like that.
See, the best thing in the world to me is the ice cream cake, but that's cheating on this question. I'm going to go ice cream as well. I'm more of like a strawberry kind of guy or vanilla. Those are my two flavors that I go with, but ice cream over cake for me.
Drink can, that was your fault.
Yeah, that was an accidental press on my part. I like vanilla ice cream, but for birthdays, I just love birthday cake, a yellow cake with white icing. So that's what I would go with.
Oh man, nice piece of cake with some ice cream right now. Sounds good some reason.
It really
does. Thank you. I was making you hungry talking about steak and burgers. Now you're making me hungry talking about cake and ice cream. All right. In fact, I could use a steak and a cake and some ice cream, maybe even a burger right now. Get fatter. All right. You guys getting with the NBA draft as the best pro sports draft other than the NFL draft, or no? Maybe you're an NHL draft guy.
I'm not an NHL draft guy.
Maybe you're an MLB draft guy. No, you're more of an MLS draft guy. By the way, the crew won last night, of course. The crew won.
Okay.
Nice job, crew.
Yeah.
The 3-time MLS champions won last night.
Definitely not. I'm not watching any MLB. I'm not watching any NHL. I'm not watching any MLS. I do enjoy the NBA. I don't watch. It's not something that I watch like nonstop the entire night. But I'm extremely curious kind of lottery pick. So I'll go NBA.
It's nowhere near as good as it used to be, but still the NBA draft is definitely still the second best of the pro sports drafts, in my opinion. I used to love it back in the day. Like when Jimmy Jackson went, you'd have like Shaq and Christian Laettner and Jimmy. I think all these guys that were like guys that were like stars in college for 3 or 4 years. Now it's like we're going to get Cooper Flagg this year. So at least we know him, but he only at Duke for 1 year. Last year, I didn't know any of the guys that went like early in the draft. They're like all from France. So it's nowhere near as good as it used to be, but it's still the second best in my opinion. Cam?
I think I'll have to definitely go with the UFL or the National Women's Soccer League as the next best. No, I'm kidding. Definitely the NBA draft is kind of what I watch all the way through for that first round for sure. See if there's any Buckeyes that get drafted. Not this year, but definitely the NBA draft.
As a follow-up on that, this won't be a this or that. I think one of the most underrated things, at least I think it's really cool and always have, to this day, is when they do the lottery, when they pick the balls. And it used to be way back in the day, I remember they would just do it some halftime of a playoff game, but now they make it its own thing. And I always think that that's riveting television.
I love that too. And I also kind of wish the NFL would implement that a little bit too, because I do kind of get annoyed with, like, at the end of the year, you're rewarding losing, and instead I like how the NBA does it where, okay, you could have the second or third or fourth, worst record and still be the number one pick. Plus the drama of that is serious, because I remember watching that, and that you talk about heart pounding moments. If you've got a team that's up there near the top of the lottery, that heart is absolutely pounding as you're seeing those envelopes unveil the teams.
And the NFL is the outlier now, because in addition to the NBA, I mean, the NHL has its own version of the lottery. It's not as big as the NBA's, but the NHL has a lottery. Major League Baseball now, as a couple years ago, they have that kind of a mini lottery, so to speak, where you're not guaranteed to get the number one pick if you have the worst record. So hopefully the NFL does that one day. Hey, the NFL likes staying in the news throughout the offseason. That'd be a way to do it.
Absolutely. So, okay, watching the NFL draft, one of the intriguing things is watching the guys at the draft versus the videos of the guys that are doing their own draft party. So this or that. If you were a prospect, let's say you would be projected maybe between pick 10 and 20. Would you go to the draft site and want to be there, or would you want to throw your own party at your house?
Well, if I knew I was a lock, it might be different. But if you told me, you're almost certain to go 10 to 20, what if you don't? I'm sure Brady Quinn was told that. I'm sure Shedeur Sanders was told that, right? There's plenty of guys that go to the draft and get embarrassed. So, and I just would, even if I knew I was going to be a first-round pick, I probably still would have just a party with my friends and family. So I would just host a party at home.
Yeah, to me, that sounds more fun, to be honest with you, than going to the draft site. And in my mind, I'd be golfing in the morning, on draft day, get a nice little round of golf with a bunch of buddies in, and then you get together with your friends and your family. And then if you're throwing your own party, you can have as many people as you want there, versus if you're going to the draft site, you get a few people and you have the cameras on you and all that stuff. To me, I would much rather throw my own draft party at home, unless I was going to be a for sure like top 5 pick. Then I think it's a little bit different. But man, I would rather throw that gigantic party at home. Cam?
I think I just always think it's the coolest thing, being able to be in that green room, like with other guys who are going in the first round, and then just walking through everything, and then walking across the stage, even though you're going to shake Roger Goodell's hand. But I think it's just a really sweet moment to get across the stage and be selected and hear your name.
And once again, happy birthday to our loyal listener, Tony.
Yes. Yep.
I've met Tony before. Nice guy.
Yeah, great listener. Listens every single week and is a passionate on the money fan. So we appreciate that and wish him a happy birthday.
I love that. And we have some people chiming in. You have Mark Condon, loyal listener, saying he likes his steak medium rare, medium burger. So not much difference for Mark, but he likes his burger a little more well cooked than his the steak. All right, and we have another one here. Colonel Ingus is saying, is Snoop Dogg going to play at my backyard draft party? That would be that he needs to know that. He's going to go to the draft. Unless you can get Snoop Dogg to come to the draft party.
That's what we need to do. We need to design our own draft party and what that party would look like, right?
That'd be great. So what band would you have, or artist? What musical artist would you Like, do you have a favorite?
Oh my gosh, I would see. You guys are going to laugh at me. I'd probably go Green Day or something like that.
Laugh at that. That's one of the best, alternative
How
rock
about
bands.
that in my backyard? That would be sweet.
Why would we laugh at Green Day? That was...
I don't know. You know what I would do, too? I would set up the backyard with all these different yard sports, so we're playing all kinds of different competitions. We got, like, some kind of great chef out there grilling things.
Like hibachi?
Maybe a hibachi in the backyard, something like that. The kids can go playing in the yard. See, to me, that sounds more fun than going to sit in a green room to go walk up on stage. No, let's party it up.
Yeah, and then you could get embarrassed by not getting drafted. And then you have these, they're showing you there. I mean, the Brady Quinn is still the perfect example. And the pick that everybody had a problem with was when Ted Ginn got picked.
That's right.
Turned out that was a heck of a good pick by the Dolphins. Ted Ginn played in the league forever and did well.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, he talked about that last night at the trivia event, his draft day experience, because at that point, everybody wanted Brady Quinn. So
Will Levis going to the draft and not getting drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
He had plenty of mayonnaise, though. He was okay.
Well, real quick, before we take a break, what did you guys think about the prank on Shador as far as him getting a phone call? And I didn't like that at all. Like, I know that Shador is cocky and people feel like, okay, he went a lot over the top with a lot of the things that he did pre-draft. I did kind of hate the prank that they did on him where they faked like he was going to be drafted and pretended to be a general manager and, oh, you're going to go at this pick. And I didn't appreciate that prank as much. Did you like that at all?
No, I don't like stuff like that. That happened to a guy for the Bengals a couple years out of Rutgers. God, what was his name? Was it Sanu? He was out of Rutgers, and there we go. Mohamed Sanu. So this is in 2012. Bengals ended up drafting him, but they got 2 wide receivers that year, and somebody called him pretending to be the Bengals like in the first round, Mohamed Sanu, and saying that he got drafted, and he believed it. And then it turns out it was a prank. And then the Bengals did draft him in the 3rd round. But that's pretty brutal, man.
Yeah.
That's like millions of dollars on the line if you're a first-round pick.
Gosh, yeah.
That's not like a typical, like, hey, man, we can't do the show tomorrow. That's not like a harmless. Oh, that ended up almost not being a harmless joke. But that wasn't like a harmless joke like that. That was like, you're talking about millions of dollars on the line. So, and you know me, I like a good joke. But that's taking the joke a little too far. All right. We're not going to take the betting too far. We're going to make you guys some money next on The Money.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
When it's time to ask life's biggest question, make sure your ring says it all. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from The Diamond Seller, and we've been helping couples say yes for over 78 years. From brilliant cuts to better prices, the quality and selection of our diamonds is unmatched. Because diamonds aren't just our business, they're our legacy. Visit us at Diamond Seller on Salmo Road or Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondseller.com. Bigger diamonds, better prices, guaranteed.
Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
Hello, radio listeners. The Fan is debuting a new lineup on May 12th. T-Bone and Tyvis hitting leadoff at 6. Bishop and Friends stays at 9. That's not new. Rothman and Ice at noon. You already knew that. Common Man and Timmy at 3. That's slightly different. Even more inappropriate, if that's possible. And Beamer is the new host of The Buckeye Show. You're welcome. Or we're sorry. Pick one. Get all the details at 971thefan.com.
Common Man here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Watching big events are more fun at Hollywood Casino. For example, there's this draft thing coming up. Large men get selected to move to different cities and play football. That's all I'm legally allowed to say. Not only do you get the excitement of on-site wagering and camaraderie, there's prizes to win at the Sportsbook. And sign up for Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on the house. Do it now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving a good deal more when you shop with M-Perks at Meijer. Some delicious blueberries, money saved. A creamy treat of cookie dough ice cream, that's money saved. Savings, savings, savings. Because every dollar spent is also 10 points earned in M-Perks, which you can use to save on your next grocery trip or up to $1 off per gallon on your next tank of gas. At Meijer, we work hard to help you save a good deal more for a whole lot less. That's bringing more good to life. Exclusions apply. See mperks.com for details.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April is a great time to spruce up around your house, especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door, too. Plus, you can get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't wait to schedule your estimate. Call them today, 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that's 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Dave Biddle's favorite kind of psychology is reverse psychology. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
Oh, my, it has been a fun and very fast 2 hours here on the Money. If you missed anything, we looked at fifth-round quarterback selections since 2000. There were 34 of them. We went through to see how many fifth-round picks that were quarterbacks generally kind of turn out. 0 for 34. Not a single good one so far in the last 25 years as far as NFL quarterbacks being drafted in the fifth round. Maybe Shador will change that going forward for the Browns. And so one thing that we're going to do, we talked about last segment about draft party, right? Would you rather be at the draft site, go up, walk on stage, or would you rather throw your own party in the backyard? I said I'd rather throw my own party in the backyard, do a grill, do some sports in the backyard. I'd have Green Day play in my backyard. Now, Dave, you had the entire break to think about who's playing at the Biddle draft party. Who you got?
Tupac and Biggie from the dead. No. I would go with the Foo Fighters.
That's a good one.
Foo Fighters. I've always I really like Chili Peppers too, but I think Foo Fighters have kind of established themselves as my favorite band.
Maybe a little north to Nashville.
No, that's my favorite country band.
Yeah.
North of Nashville.
Okay, so here's the deal. We got to make the people some money this segment. We got a couple minutes to hand out some best bets. I will go on with a golf bet to start things out on the Live Tour. And Bryson DeChambeau has a one-shot lead in the final round. The final round starts at 2 o'clock. Yes, it's hard to find. It's Live Golf. I'm on the Fox Sports app trying to figure out how to watch this thing yesterday. But you got a great field. You got Bryson in first place. You got Cam Smith in second, one shot back. And then you have Joaquin Niemann, 3 shots back. I say sprinkle a little bit of that money on Joaquin Niemann, 3 shots back. He's already won twice on the Live Tour this year. Bryson has shown he's struggled a little bit in third rounds and final rounds this year. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit at 6-1 on Joaquin Niemann in the Live tournament. Dave, what is your best bet for this Sunday?
Now, I know you're going to be into Talladega today.
Big time.
You're a huge NASCAR guy. Now, Ryan Blaney's the favorite, obviously, but you're not getting great value. Plus 850 on Blaney. I like a little bit of a Denny Hamlin, plus 1,600. I put $3 American on that. That'd pay out $54.
Ooh.
$3.
Let's go.
I put $3 on Kyle Larson at 18-1. $3. I'd pay out $57. And one more, I put $3 on William Byron. William Byron. That just sounds like a NASCAR name. William Byron. 15-1. $3 on that would win $48. So I made a couple little long shot NASCAR bets. I love it. Look at Cam. Cam is just on fire.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, boy.
Let's open up the phone lines for the next show. We got the call-in show coming up next.
Absolutely.
We're giving away Reds tickets. You've got a huge bet on the Reds this year. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away a pair of tickets to the Reds game this week, May 1st. 614-821-9710. You can get your calls in, get reacting to the draft.
Can you still get the Reds over-under at 78.5?
I don't think so.
I don't think you can.
In season, that's probably gone.
I don't think you can. And they're a game over 500. So how's that looking right now?
I want this bet to come through for you so bad.
79-83, and I'd win that bet. All right, that is our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scotty Vegas and Cam Taylor, I am Dave Biddle, but like Scotty said, don't go anywhere. Up next is the Fan Call-In Show with Scotty and Ryan Baker. Give the boys a call, 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm going to teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
You can have AAA find you the right insurance policy, or you can shop for your own.
Hello?
I'm with Mega Insure. You requested a quote?
Yes, 3 months ago.
You could have our travel advisors plan your dream vacation, or book your own travel.
Woo! Panama City Beach! Spring break!
I thought you said we were going to Panama.
Wait, there's a difference?
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
If
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender